Hello lovelies and welcome to my first December daily video for 2020. So normally in November I usually go through and finish off the previous year's December daily because I never get it done. But when I went to do that I made a shocking realization. I can't find last year's album. What I did find was an empty album in my Christmas stash. So I don't know if I have started an album and lost it, or, sadly more likely, I didn't do one last year. Now, for the life of me, I have no idea why that would have happened. But the fact that I found an empty album is what makes me think maybe I didn't do it. So I'm a little bummed about that because I do an album every year and I can't imagine why I didn't do one last year. I've looked for evidence that I did one, photos, but I can't find a thing. So I guess I'm going to have to catch up on that one. So I really wanted to make sure that I didn't fall behind with this year's. And so I did day 1 and day 2. So again, I'm using the same album I use every year. It's a Kaisercraft 6x8 album. And I use my pocket pages. And I usually do a 6x8 page for my title and then put our tree on the next page, just a picture of us in front of our tree because we get a lovely family photo in front of our tree every year. Some years when we put up our tree in the last weekend of November, depending on when the first happens to fall, like this year, the first was a Tuesday and we were going to be too busy to put the tree up on Tuesday, so we did it on the Monday night, which was the 30th. So it doesn't quite fit into my December daily because I do like to start on the 1st of December, but I still want to document that. So I tend to make a 6x8 layout of our tree and whatever date that happens to fall on. So that's what I'm going to do on those first 2 pages. I'm going to do my title page and then our tree. So I've just left them for now with a little post-it in there. And then this is December 1st. So we have an elf, a scout elf that comes to visit us every year and gets up to mischief. His name is Buddy. And on the 1st, he showed up in our lovely little tree with a lovely sign that said, "I'm back." So I thought that would be the perfect way to document the 1st of December. So I have a Raskog cart full of December daily supplies. It's basically where I put all my Christmas collections, all my Christmas themed things that I have, and I keep it like that year round, so when November comes around I can catch up, but also it gives me somewhere to store all my stuff. There's no point moving it around. And then I actually work straight out of the Raskog. So the Raskog sits next to my desk and I go through it and pull out what I need. So I have, the top shelf is full of stamps, sticker sets, and thickers. And then there's also a tray from a Project Life core kit. And inside that I sit all of my Christmassy themed Project Life cards. I have a lot over the years. I've collected a lot. I don't think I've even bought a Christmas collection this year because I have so many things still. Excuse me. But, you know, every now and then I like to add to it. And yeah, I just pull out of that every year. So this one, I've used my colours tend to be the same every year. I am a traditional red, green and gold. Not that vintage red and green and gold that you can see sometimes, but that more festive, bright red and green. And those are always my colours. I just love those. And I love to throw and add in some gold. So I have a lot of gold thickers, and they are my go-to for my titles and things and all my embellishing and journaling. And so yeah, so what I've got is I've got a 4x6 card where I've put my date. I mix up between the 2 4x6 pages, the 4x6 and the 3x4. The only one I tend to not use often is the 4 3x4 squares. You know, the page with the 4 pockets. I don't tend to use those because I tend to take 4x6 photos more often than not. So that's probably the one I use the least. And the one I use the most is this one, the 4x6 and the 2 3x4s. So I've got my photo. I've added a little bit of embellishing. And I've put my date on my top card. I don't really have a method to this. I pull out what works and I just use whatever gaps I have. I print my photos and then whatever gaps I have left in my pocket page, I then go ahead and fill. So I don't really print my photos off what I want to embellish with, if that makes sense. I just print my photos and then I scrap around them. So with the first one, I had a big 4x6 space where I could make my title card, my date card. Whereas on this one, I've got this big 4x6 photo, and I'm just going to stick a little 2 on there, and that's going to be my date. So it varies. I don't always have, I don't continue the same things over and over. It doesn't bother me. I like to just wing it and just do what I like. I could have turned this card down the bottom into my number card, and some years I have done that. But I really had a story to tell with this photo, so I really wanted to include the journaling. Now, this photo at the top looks a little strange. Cooper loves gingerbread men. He's the only one in the house that likes gingerbread. I don't like it. Will doesn't like it, and Matt doesn't. Cooper's the only one. So we get gingerbread houses just for him. But also every year we get some gingerbread men. And when we went into Coles this day, he's turned around and he's gone, "Mum, you can't have Christmas without gingerbread men." So that is what I wanted to document, how important that is to him. It's one of his Christmas traditions. So that is why I chose to have a journaling card instead of a big number card. So that's it for my day 1 and 2. As you can see, there's more journaling than I usually do in the past. I dare say that may change later in the month when I do my next few pages. But, for now, it told the stories that I wanted to tell. And, the boys do love going through these every year. So, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with the next few days. Bye for now.